on a fantastic Tuesday afternoon. How's everyone doing? It's the teddy bear. Yeah, the return of the big smooth, so to speak. And welcome to Traxx Radio. And today's artist spotlight, gifted singer, songwriter. She's just all that and so much more. With her new album, of course, Aida Ade. Lord have mercy, the Unbreakable Aida Ade. Welcome to the show, my love. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. You know what? I want to hop in Doctor Who's time machine and go back to 2018 a little bit. Blue EP. I've had an opportunity to listen to that EP, I say maybe about 5 times. Okay. One of the songs that really caught my attention from a sonic perspective, and also just from a lyrical, as far as lyrical content, was On and On. And I wanted to ask you, how have you seen your growth from working on that project to where you are now with your current album?
Oh man, On and On is one of my favorite songs that I've written, so I'm really glad that you even brought it up. But the growth that I've seen from that project to now the Unbreakable Aida Ade, honestly, is a lot more confidence in who I am as an artist and being able to make music and say, you know what, this is what I like and this is how it's going to go for me as an artist. And it's almost like this EP, the Unbreakable Aida Ade, is a continuation from Blue. Because in between Blue and the Unbreakable Aida Ade, I kind of lost my own sense of who I was as an artist. And so the growth of kind of coming back around and now having something sonically that sounds similar to Blue with Unbreakable and Baby Boy, it's honestly more of like a full circle moment.
Okay. I want to touch upon something that you just said, and I want to really pinpoint when you said losing your way. Losing who you are, allowing other people to mold you into what they perceive you and what you should be. How challenging was it for you to say, you know what, I'm going to be true to who I am as an artist and I've had enough?
I think that was probably the most difficult thing for me to do. I honestly feel like that was the thing that was holding me back from going out and just being an artist. And right before I released Blue, my aunt passed away. Her name was Linda, and she was the one who was kind of like, you know what, you just do what you want to do. Who cares about what comes next? Just go out there and do it. And when she passed, I lost a lot of kind of borrowed confidence because I realized that a lot of my confidence was coming from her. So in between the time of Blue and the Unbreakable Aida Ade, I tried to lean on other people's opinions and I tried to lean on everyone else. My aunt was one of my, that was my girl. So her loss was a very big one for me, and trying to lean on other people who didn't understand my vision the way that she did. It was very difficult to find my own footing because now I'm grieving. And now I'm going to school for a master's degree, doing things that I didn't want to go back to school, but doing, I guess, for more practical and following everyone's idea of what an adult woman should be. And honestly, getting back on my own feet was probably the most difficult thing I've done as far as being an artist. And honestly, as far as being a woman and growing into who I am as a person, even beyond the art.
Without question. And I want to segue to mental health, especially in our community, in the Black community. Mental health is looked upon as being a weakness. And we don't really truly realize how much it not only tears us down from an emotional standpoint, but not having anyone that we can really confide into. Yeah. And I think it has a double impact when you're an artist and you express so much of yourself through your music, and you have a certain circle of people that you rely on so much. And you said that special relationship that you had. How long did it take you to really get somewhat emotionally back on your feet again?
Ooh, she passed. Yeah. It was a long I had a very complicated grief journey. The way that I was raised by my mom and her sisters. We lived in a four-family flat when I was a little girl. And so I was always with my mom and her sisters. So losing my aunt felt like losing a version of my mother. And that grief journey was extremely difficult. It was very complicated. I was all over the place. Like, one thing that we misconstrue is that the idea of grief and the stages of grief is like, oh, you go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's 1, it's 5, it's 4, it's 2, it's 3, and it's all over the place. And I literally felt like just whiplash. And so going through the grieving process, it was really difficult for me because I didn't know. And in our community, we don't really have the resources. And although I do have a spiritual relationship with a higher power, praying it away wasn't enough. I needed some extra work. I needed something extra. And honestly, it wasn't until I finished my master's degree and started working as a therapist that I was like, oh, girl, you're still grieving. You're very much in the thick of it. You need to go get some extra help with this grieving and processing it. You've done all you can on your own, but you don't have to move on your own. And so that's when I started my own therapy journey and realizing how deeply affected I was by my aunt's death and that grief journey. And then just in the midst of it, writing Unbreakable. I wasn't even planning on writing any music. I was just like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm done. I happened to hear a beat on YouTube and I was like, I kind of like this. And that piece of hold on, you might bend, but you won't break, that it came to me and I'm just like bawling, crying, like in the middle of my own home. I'm so glad I was at home, but just bawling, crying. And then it just, all of it came to me. And it was just like, it felt like giving myself permission to accept what had happened with my aunt and to let go of some of the reservations that I had and understand that it wasn't necessarily borrowed confidence. It was just my aunt illuminating who I was and really accepting me fully for who I was. And that is a great gift that I can't even put into words, but moving forward, then I went to Master Camp, which is a artist boot camp run by a St. Louis artist named Mastermind, who I'd known from when I first started music in 2017 and 18. And going through that camp and just meeting so many other people who had been working on their mental health and working on their music simultaneously and their artistry, it just gave me a lot more tools to deal with my mental health and to be able to now take my mental health and kind of streamline it into my art and understand how to deal with it.
Without question, I like to go back to the movie Get Out when they mentioned the term being in a sunken place. Mm-hmm. And I think that epitomizes what a lot of us are going through. How much has your music been therapeutic for you? Is being able, having the ability to express yourself as far as your different feelings and emotions that you are illuminating at that particular moment in time?
Oh, I don't think if it were for music, I wouldn't be able to express myself. Even as a therapist now, I don't specialize in talk therapy. I do expressive arts. Culturally, African-American people and people of the diaspora are more likely to open up through art rather than through just talking and vocalizing. So with my music, I honestly don't think I'd be able to express myself if I had not been able to find that therapeutic piece that I needed. Even listening to my music, I will still listen to my music and cry. When I play On and On live, even though I wrote that song as a very green 21-year-old, now that's the first I'd written, and I'm like, girl, you have not grown. And at 30, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know that I would need myself the way I did. And now listening to On and On, and then listening to Unbreakable, oh my gosh, like, and then finally finishing it off with Nothing But a Dream. It's this feeling of like, okay, I can do this. I have what I need to be able to move forward. It's really this confidence thing now. So if it weren't for my music, honestly, I would not be on this show with you. I would not be able to. There wouldn't be of me in this sense. I don't even want to know who I would have gone down a line of being if it hadn't been for being able to access the therapeutic and expressive side of my art.
Well, it definitely resonates through the new project. And I wanted to ask you, I know that I've always had the ability, because I've always been a very extroverted person. And I noticed that a lot of artists that I've had the pleasure to converse with, a lot of them are very introverted. And the best way to express themselves is through music. When do you feel that you write your best music? As far as, do you have to be in a particular frame of mind, a certain city, a certain element that brings the best out of you? And also, part two of that question, how does it make you feel when you perform live and you have someone come up to you after a performance and say, that particular song really touched me emotionally because I'm going through that right now? How are you able to deal with that type of level of emotion and that kind of feedback and love that you get back in return?
Okay, I'm gonna start with that first part. Where do I write kind of best?
Yes.
It used to be, I lived in the city in my childhood home. It's also the home that my mom was raised in. Beautiful love story behind it between my grandparents, but I moved back there after I graduated college, and that is where I wrote the entire Blue project.
Okay.
My bedroom on an iPad. I really I don't even know how it all came to me. It just happened. Like, I felt so inspired by being home. And moving forward, after moving out of that place, I didn't really have a lot of inspiration. I think I started finding my inspiration just kind of like, oh, people think I'm a good songwriter, so let me just go write some songs. But I don't think those are my best works. I think I didn't start writing my best works until I kind of realized through being a domestic violence therapist that, like, the idea of home for me is the same thing as saying safety. I need to feel safe wherever I am writing, wherever I am creating. But then I started toying with the idea of, well, where is home? Where is home for me? Where is that ultimate safety? And I was reading a story, or not a story, I was reading a poem by Rupi Kaur, who is one of my absolute favorite writers. And she was toying with the idea of home. And she was like, home is you. And I'm like, no, home is like an external place. And I really started accepting that, even like thinking while I'm with my clients, like, oh my God, I am my home. My client, you're your own home. Like, and just kind of having that epiphany of, it's me. I am my own home. Wherever I go, I carry my safety. I carry my boundaries. I carry who I am. And so now it's become, I can write anywhere. Y'all could throw me in the middle of the wilderness. That pizza, like the Krusty Krab pizza. I'm going to write. I don't care where I am. I don't care who's around. I just going to be writing. I'm going to write. I'm going to sing. I'm going to come up with something, because I've learned a safety in myself that is just very secure. It's no longer based on the opinions of other people. And so, segueing into that next portion, it feels amazing knowing that, like, what I'm going through or what I went through, I wasn't alone in it. Isolation is so big. It's such a big part of mental health. We tend to isolate ourselves. We feel like a burden. We don't want to hurt anybody. We don't talk to anybody. And so having people be brave enough to come up and be like, oh my gosh, like, this really spoke to me. Like, you really spoke to me. And I'm just like, I am so glad. If you need to keep talking, message me, please. Like, let's talk, not therapeutically, because I don't want to mess with my license, but I'm happy to share my experience. I'm very open about my experience, and I'm glad that the things that I create give someone else a voice, because not everyone is an artist. Not everyone is a musical artist. Some people may dance. Some people may yoga out. Like, expression is different for everyone. So being able to be a voice for someone, especially when I have felt so voiceless before, it's an indescribable feeling. It honestly is.
Without question. How are you? I think one of the most challenging things about being an artist is setting boundaries. And what I mean by that is that being able to maintain a personal life, but also a professional life. How challenging has that been for you to kind of maintain that level of privacy, but as your music has a tendency to reach out and touch so many people, more people want to know so much more about you. How you've been able to maintain that kind of privacy?
Oh man, I I can honestly say that is something I am still learning.
Okay. Okay.
Boundaries is also something I'm still learning. Personal boundaries, not necessarily boundaries to, keep others out, but to keep myself in. I tend to be an over helper. So the moment that somebody's like, I need you, I'm like, where, when, how, what? Like, boundaries is something that I am continuing to work on. But I will say I have a very strong support system in my
Okay.
and some of my family members. I have grown this support system that they understand my boundaries, so they can be people that I can confide in, that I know, like, they'll hold it for me. Like, I'm like, my camp is like Kendrick Lamar's, nobody's leaking nothing, and I love it. I love it. I'm around people who allow me to just be. And so that has been very helpful, but I am still learning how to not necessarily set boundaries now, but how to hold boundaries.
Without question. And for those who are tuning in late, shame on you. And the teddy bear does forgive you. We're being joined, of course, by the super talented Aida Ade. Lord have mercy. I just kind of rose off the teddy bear's lip. Isn't it a beautiful thing? And we are broadcasting live on iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook Live. You wanted it. We're here to give it to you. I seen the need, and I'm here to fulfill all those needs. And speaking fulfilling needs, what is the most important thing to you? What means, as far as, let me rephrase it. I want to touch upon character and integrity in this industry, which is very taboo. It's very challenging to keep that. How important is it that you do keep your integrity and your character intact?
It honestly, to me, that's the most important thing as I work through learning about the industry and being a songwriter, being a singer. My integrity and who I am is more important than anything else in the world, because it's taken me so long to build who I am. And my integrity and my character will always supersede the business. Um, I always think about the quote from India Ari, who is one of my absolute inspirations. And she said, I do this for the love of music, not for the glitter and gold.
Right.
Um, I have, listen, if I strike it big and we can go get a lot of cars, and I'm like, cool, absolutely cool. I will be thankful for any blessing thrown my way, but it's definitely not my end all be all. If I am able to make music and I am able to create with other people and connect with other people that way, I am happy. I honestly do this for the love of music, which is why, even though I didn't want to go to school all those years, I'm glad that I did. Because now I have something that I can do to take care of myself that I also love. I love helping people. I love being a therapist. So I have something that I can do to take care of myself so that I'm not having to risk my integrity and who I am as a person to be an artist. I can honestly do this for the love of music rather than that glitter and gold part.
Well, it definitely resonates with the new project. And I wanted to ask you, I'm a record buyer and I'm in Japan, to be more specific, Tokyo, Japan. And I go into a record store and I see your album on vinyl. Lord have mercy. Teddy Bear is addicted to vinyl. Yes, he is. And I go in there and I see this. What could you possibly say to me to convince me why I should buy your album?
You should buy my album because it's still authentic music. It's still someone's heart and soul into this music. It's still someone's world being put into sound waves. It's relatable, it's lovable, it's danceable. You're going to have emotions. It's going to provoke real feeling. And if you want to feel real, with your girl.
So it is written, so it shall be done. So far be it for me to deprive the music gods with Blueprint Music, of course. Ida Ade with her new album, of course, and one of the many wonderful singles from this new album, Baby Boy. Yes, Lord. Here on Night Traxx.
Baby boy, what's got you troubled? They lied and told you that you need a hustle. Got you convinced that you can't feel a thing, but when you break down, they call you weak. Well, what if I told you that there's another side? Oh, what if I showed you? Would you take my hand, or would you run and hide? But no more, we're breaking down doors. No more, we're breaking down doors. No more, no more, no more. Baby man, why are you crying? Hurt inside with nowhere to put it. What if I told you you could lay it all away and you could get up and see a brighter day? You gotta understand just who you are. The strength outside gotta match your heart. I'm here to hold you and bleed you and give you what you need. Oh, what if I told you that there was another side? Oh, what if I showed you? Would you take my hand, or would you run and hide? But no more, we're breaking down doors. No more, we're breaking down doors. No more, no more, no more. No more crying, no more hiding, no more crying, baby boy, baby boy. No more crying, no more hiding, no more crying, baby boy, baby boy. What if I told you that there's another side? Oh, what if I showed you? Would you take my hand, or would you run and hide? But no more, we're breaking down doors. No more, breaking down doors. No more, no more, no more. Yeah.
Lord have mercy. The Unbreakable Ida Ade with her new album available as we speak on iTunes, Apple, Spotify. But if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can always head over to Amazon.com. My queen, I gotta ask, when are we going to have an opportunity to see you perform live? I mean, make your way down to Houston, Texas, and show us some love. Yes.
I am actually working on that right now. My next live show, if you're in St. Louis, it's on December 7th at City Winery St. Louis at 7:30. It's all over my socials. It's everywhere. Just type Ida Ade City Winery, you'll find it. But we are working on getting moving around this summer. So hopefully will be able to get down to Houston. I love Houston, so I would love to come down to Houston. We are absolutely working on getting there. Trust me, I'm ready to take this show on the road. So,
well, my queen, I want to tell you, as I tell every artist that I've had the pleasure to speak with, this is your home. Whatever you need, please do not hesitate to let us know. We respect you. I admire your courage. You've faced all the obstacles that you have needed to face, and you come shining through. Look at you. Dimples and all. It's a beautiful thing.
thank you.
And remember, family, the album is available. Again, it is available on iTunes, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and also as well as Amazon. And if you want to have an opportunity to see her perform live, please visit her official website. That's AidaAde.com. See, gotcha. Thank you, my queen. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and keep it soulful, okay?
You too. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my love. The super talented Aida Ade here on Traxx Radio. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in and allowing the teddy bear to help you just kind of get away from all the negativity. So much negativity that we're dealing with right now in the world, but it's okay. No need to fear. I see the need, here to fulfill the need. And for those who missed the interview, no need to fear. You can always catch the interview in its entirety on our YouTube channel. That's at Traxx with 2 X's. That's at Traxx Radio broadcast. And we are actually broadcasting live on YouTube as we speak, as well as Instagram, also iHeartRadio, Spotify, and also on Facebook. But be sure to follow, subscribe to us. Of course, again, Traxx with 2 X's. That's Traxx Radio Podcast. That's also on Facebook, YouTube, on, we're on so many different websites. I'm losing track and getting older. Lord have mercy. Also on TikTok, that's at Traxx Radio. Also on Instagram at Traxx. Again, that's with 2 X's. I want to make sure that what you want to hear is important. What you need to hear is important. Music matters. Music brings so much unity. Music has no color. It just has love, and it resonates to everyone. So if you have a particular artist that you want to see on the show, the teddy bear will make it happen. All you got to do is send us an email. To get that email, that's LOTL Radio, the Zone Business at gmail.com. I want everyone to have a fantabulous Thanksgiving. And remember, never waste time on letting people that you know that you love them and how much you appreciate them, because the next day is not guaranteed to any of us, okay? So as in always, keep it soulful here on Traxx Radio. God bless.